This tutorial will help you how to download a extracted file from a zip file that is on the cloud, and you will extract that particular file on the fly without saving the zip file onto your local folder and then download the desired file. I mean to say is you have some zip file on the cloud, let's say on the S3 bucket or any other link, or either on your server, application server, and then you download the zip file on the fly and then you extract it, and then you downloaded the extracted file into the browser into your Angular application. So the first thing we need to perform this tutorial is we need some sample link via which we can download a zip file. So for this demo I am using learningcontainer.com. Here we have some sample zip file which via which we can download some zip file. I already downloaded a file that is of size 5 MB, you can see, and I am opening this folder. So you will see we have some mpg file in it. So I click on it, you can see it is playing, right? So now go back to your application. This is our application UI, a small little button that says extract cloud zip file and download it. Okay. So the first thing we need is we need to be add a proxy.config.json file into your application, so that because since it is an external application we have to be enable a course proxy to download it on our dev server. Okay. So I have created one proxy whose target is learningcontainer.com, and it is secure, change origin true, and path rewrite. Okay. Now the next thing I need is I need a JSZip library. So let's stop the application, install the JSZip library. So you can simply go there, yes, zip npm. So we are using JSZip to perform our operation. So what we need is we need an installation command for it. So it's copy here, go to your VS Code, paste it, run the command. Okay. So let me zoom the terminal for you in the meantime so that you have a better view. Okay. Let's zoom in more. Okay. Now since we have the library installed into our application using this command, so let's minimize this for now. So now in the HTML, we, as I told you, we have a simple button. On button click, we are calling this download method button. So first thing is we configure the proxy into our application. The next thing is we need to create one download service for it. So name it as download service dot ts. Inside this service, what we need is we have to be create a class. So let's do that. Export class download service, and what we need to do is we need to be inject this service into the root of our application. So we need to be import the namespace for this also, that is inherited from the Angular core. Now what we need to do is provide into root of the application. When the application is loaded, this application will automatically injected into that particular service. Okay. So the next thing is we in the constructor, let's inject the HTTP client, because we are performing this operation using the HTTP client, not with the fetch URL, because on the fetch URL we are unable to determine at which point of time we have a complete file downloaded. So that's why we are using the HTTP client. Import the namespace for the same. HTTP client is imported from the common HTTP client, right? Okay, so it should be imported from the HTTP client module from @Angular HTTP client. Angular common then HTTP. Okay. So after injecting the HTTP service into your service file, now we have to create one method named as download. In this download method, what we are doing is we are expecting one URL that is of string type. Into that particular URL method, what we are returning is we are returning a observable. Okay, and in observable, what we are returning a blob. Oops. Okay, so now it's throwing error, we are not returning anything, so return this dot http, and then what we need to do, we need to call a get method, and inside the get method what we are doing is we are passing a URL, and then we are returning a response type that is of blob. Okay, so that's it for the download service. So this service is simply what is doing using the HTTP client. It is downloading a file and returning us a observable in a form of blobs. Okay, so now switch back to your component. In this we have a method named as download. To save our time, I have a definition ready. So what we need to do is let's simply replace this method. So let's try to understand what this method is. Okay, so firstly import the namespace, and then we're good. Okay, so in this let's declare the downloads. Okay, so what we are doing is we are calling a download service. So before doing anything, what we need to do is we need to create a constructor and inject our service in it. So what is our service name? It is download service. So wait, downloads, that is of download service type. Import the namespace, and we are good. Okay. So in this what we are doing is we will call our download service. Okay, and inside that download service we have one method named as download. Over this we are passing our the proxy URL, and here is the further set of URL that we need to be passed. We already configured the proxy for this, and then what we are doing is we are subscribing to the blobs. Once we have the complete blob ready to download it, okay, and downloading is finished, you can say on the fly, then JSZip will load that blob file on the fly behind the scenes. And once we have a complete set of blob in the JSZip file, and then what we are doing is we are simply looping through its file, the keys, zip file, how many files they have, and then based upon that what I am doing is I am looking for some specific format, that is .mpg format. Let's say on your zip file you have the multiple files with the multiple extensions, so I'm only particularly interested in looking for the .mpg file. I have looked through the file, then on the zip files I am extracting that file data, and then what I'm doing is I'm converting its blob on the fly, that is of .mpg. And then what I'm doing, I'm creating one anchor link, and then on the fly I'm converting it and giving it a suitable name so that I am able to download that file. Okay, so let's test this code. Simply run the npm start command, npm start. We can also do this using the fetch file, but the error caused in the fetch file is if you have a large file, then what will happen is you are not getting a complete set of log, and this call will be executed and you are getting an error in case of the fetch file. So if you are dealing with the large file, then you have to be use the HTTP client to download the file on the fly, and then you will pass that blob into the JSZip so that it can be loaded asynchronously. So our application is running. So we are getting some error on the console. It's saying HTTP client is not injected. Okay. So for fixing this, what we need to do is close your browser, stop the application, and go to your app module.ts file. In this, what we need to be do is we need to be import a HTTP client module just after the browser module, because we are using HTTP client module for downloading it a file. Okay, and now the one more thing you need to be do is to use the proxy. You need to be configure that proxy when you are running the command. So copy your or modify your npm start command ngserve dash proxy, and then you have to give your proxy config name. Okay, now we are good to go. Open your terminal, fire the command npm start. So you will see now it is starting with the proxy file. Wait for it to compile. So it's compiled successfully. Let's open it on the browser. Now we have our application fine and running. So open the console window, click on the download button. You will see it will take some time to download a 5 MB file, and then it will come to our debugger. You will see over the blob we have a blob size of 5216156, so approximately more than 5 MB. Click continue. Now you will see you have a file with sample.mpg, so you are just checking it. So now we have the file data. We are try to download it. Go to the folder, you will see you have a file of same data size. Okay, so in this way we can online convert a file when we are actually downloading it from the cloud. So we are not downloading a zip file into our local, we are on the fly converging the files that is present inside a zip folder. Thanks for watching. See you in the next session.